You know what AI is, you know the 5 core functions it performs, and you know why today's models are narrow. Now it is time to take that framework and apply it to the real world outside the classroom. Welcome to Chapter 1, Meeting AI. Specifically, Section 4, AI Everywhere, AI in Everyday Life. Here is our exact roadmap for this section. We start with 4.1, You're already using AI. Then 4.2, AI in your phone and personal devices. 4.3 covers AI in education and learning, followed by 4.4, AI in entertainment, media, and communication. Then 4.5, AI in shopping, banking, and money. 4.6 explores AI in public services, transportation, and health check-ins. Finally, 4.7 will define exactly what counts as AI and what doesn't. For this section, our main question is no longer what is AI. The question we need to answer right now is, where is AI already showing up in my day? Let's begin with subsection 4.1. You're already using AI, probably many times a day. In fact, most of us interact with artificial intelligence before we have even been awake for a full hour. Think about a basic morning routine. You use facial recognition to unlock your phone, check a routing algorithm for a commute traffic estimate, rely on autocorrect to text a friend, and play a recommended song. AI is doing the work in the background, even though none of those tools carry a label that says AI. Tech companies design these systems to be invisible. A spam filter doesn't stop to announce that an AI reviewed your incoming email, it simply drops the junk into the right folder. A photo app doesn't explain its facial recognition process, it just creates the album for you. The technology is meant to work seamlessly. Because these models are tucked quietly inside useful features, it is easy to underestimate how often you rely on them. The very first habit you need for true AI literacy is learning to notice the technology when no one is pointing it out. Moving to subsection 4.2, AI in your phone and personal devices. Your smartphone is one of the densest clusters of AI you will interact with. It is highly personal, used constantly, and packed with software that adjusts to your specific habits. Look closely at a single device, and you will find at least 5 distinct AI features. The keyboard learns how you write to offer predictive text. The photo gallery organizes images by recognizing faces. The operating system watches your app usage to optimize battery life. The camera uses scene recognition to adjust lighting. And of course, there are voice assistants. Let's put a spotlight on those voice assistants. Tools like Siri, Google Assistant, and Alexa are mainstream applications of AI. They work by combining speech recognition to hear you, language understanding to parse your intent, and content generation to talk back. But remember our previous lessons. These are strictly narrow AI systems. They excel at language-based tasks within their specific domain. Ask Siri to drive your car, and it fails. Ask a self-driving car to act like Siri, and it fails. Narrowness goes both ways. That brings us to section 4.3, AI in education and learning. Modern education is full of AI touchpoints, from language apps that adapt to your skill level, to accessibility tools providing live captions, to writing assistants and tutoring chatbots. When generative tools first arrived, many schools tried to outright prohibit them, but detection software is imperfect. False positives flag innocent students, while actual violations sometimes slip through. Because strict prohibition proved unworkable to enforce fairly, many institutions have shifted toward a disclosure model, where you can use the tools provided you state exactly how you use them. Here is an exercise to try with these writing assistants. Paste 2 paragraphs of your own writing into a model like ChatGPT and ask it to identify your 2 weakest sentences. Then ask it to suggest stronger versions in your own voice, without altering the meaning. You will quickly see that AI provides drafts for you to react to, rather than perfect edits to accept automatically. Next is subsection 4.4, AI in entertainment, media, and communication. Think about the social media platforms you check daily. Most of them have completely abandoned the chronological feed, which simply shows you the newest post first, in favor of the algorithmic feed. The algorithmic feed won because it uses AI to predict exactly what will keep you scrolling. Longer sessions create more opportunities to show you advertisements, and more ad views generate more revenue. The system isn't showing you what your friends posted most recently. It is calculating what the data dictates will hold your attention. This predictive power drives subsection 4.5, AI in shopping, banking, and money. Financial systems rely heavily on invisible models. Banks use them to flag out-of-character credit card transactions for fraud, and they use computer vision to read the routing numbers when you deposit a check with your phone's camera. Retailers use these models for personalized pricing. This is the practice of charging different customers different prices for the exact same product, based entirely on predictions of what they are likely to pay. User inputs, like location and browsing history, funnel into a predictive model, generating targeted ads and personalized prices. When you see this, take a privacy pause. Ask, what is the company doing with my data? What do I get in return? What would I do differently? Every personalized experience you enjoy online relies on that specific exchange. Personalization requires personal data. That data exchange also powers the civic world in subsection 4.6, AI in public services, transportation, and health check-ins. We rely on complex matching and demand prediction algorithms every time we hail a rideshare or use a mapping app to avoid traffic. Health systems use similar predictive logic for symptom checkers to triage patients. You will notice that public sector AI adoption moves slower than the private sector. Government procurement timelines are long. Public systems are held to a much higher standard of accountability, and strict annual budget cycles make it difficult to buy rapidly changing technology. However, that slower pace does not mean the technology is less important. The stakes in the public sector are incredibly high. These systems dictate medical triage, influence policing strategies, and determine who gets access to basic government services. With so many systems running in the background, we reach our final section, 4.7, what counts as AI and what doesn't. Not every smart feature actually uses artificial intelligence. We need a clear line to separate true AI from basic automation. To draw that line, we use the structural test. You only need to ask one question. Does the system learn from data and adapt, or does it follow a fixed rule? If it follows a fixed rule, a schedule, or a timer, it is ordinary automation. If it learns from data and adapts its behavior, it is AI. Let's apply that test to thermostats. A traditional thermostat runs on a fixed timer. It turns on at 6 in the morning because you programmed it to. It doesn't learn. But this smart thermostat observes when you leave the house, notes your preferred temperature, and adjusts itself automatically. It learns and adapts, passing the test. Let's try a few more. An out-of-office email reply sends the same message every time. Fixed rule, not AI. A spam filter learns patterns of junk mail over time. That is AI. A calendar reminder pops up exactly 1 hour before a meeting. Fixed rule, not AI. Netflix predicting what you want to watch next based on your history. Learns from data. Definitely AI. Fixed automation and adaptive AI are both highly useful in our daily routines. But technologically speaking, only systems that learn and adapt get to wear the AI label. To summarize our audit, AI is deeply embedded across almost every domain of daily life, from your morning alarm to your bank account, your classroom, and your commute. And crucially, it is mostly invisible by design. The first true habit of AI literacy isn't writing the perfect prompt. It is noticing artificial intelligence when it is quietly operating inside ordinary tools. Take a moment to review the knowledge check questions on screen and make sure you are comfortable with these 4 key terms. If you can confidently apply the structural test to the devices in your own pocket, you are ready for the next chapter.